I myself, Dr. Bikka Mahanti, welcome you for this session. Now, today my topic is general principle and processes isolation of elements. किमिति गोटे मेटाल केमिति आम एक्सट्रैक्ट करवा फ्रॉम इट्स मिनरल्स. फर्स्ट I will do something. Occurrence of metals. First we write occurrence of metals. Occurrence of metals. Occurrence of metal, one is native state, the other is combined state. Combined state. In the native state, that means the element by the metal cast the missy pariboni remain as such. For example, gold सहज मिसी पाने, gold, silver, platinum. These elements, these metals remain in native state, but its combined state maybe the elements remain as number one, carbonates, oxides, sulfides, chlorides, like this. So these two types first, one native state and the combined state. In the combined state, it may be carbonate, oxide, sulfide, chloride. So before going to the general principle, I will tell you mineral. What is mineral? Write down. That is mineral is जेकोसी एलिमेंट जदि आर्थ कस्ट अच्छी से कह मिनेराल. Mineral is the naturally occurring, the natural occurring chemical substances in earth crust which can be obtained by mining जो हम जो पाउच जो by mining are called mineral. जेकोसी एलिमेंट जेकोसी मेटाल जदि नेचर अच्छी नेचुरल occurring substance remaining in the earth crust are called minerals. What difference mineral and ore? Most times do you know the question pade write the difference by distinguish between ore and mineral. The ore is the mineral from which the metal can easily extracted. I mean easily पाई परिवा extracted. Easily extracted, it should be economically and it should be economically. यदि पैसा बेसी खर्च हो लाभ नहीं ताको आम थियरी करिया द मिनरल फ्रॉम व्हिच द मेटल कैन इजीली एक्सट्रैक्टेड एंड इट शुड बी इकोनॉमिकली then the mineral is called ore. Suppose आम आयरन करवा आयरन बहुत सारे मिनेराल अच्छी किंतु जो आयरन टा पाइबा कहले जो मिनेराल आम आने को पड़ो then से मिनेराल आम कह ओर. Hence all ores are minerals. All ores are minerals, but all minerals are not ores. All minerals are not ores. So this is the ore and mineral. Distinguish between ore and mineral. Then all ores are minerals, but all minerals are not ores. And what is gangue particles? This is some certain terms I will discuss. Then I will go to general principle. What is gangue particle? The impurities present in the ore, the impurities present in the ore बहुत impure अच्छे आम तो बाहर करिया उचित से impurity गुड़ा कमर को आगला gangue particles called gangue particles. The ore are called gangue particles. And जति impurity थिबो ताको आमे कहबा gangue particles. So some of the examples, some ores जोटा आमे मेटाल इजिली एक्सट्रैक्ट कर परिबा बॉक्साइट एल्युमिनियम बहुत प्रकार अछि हमरो मिनरल किंतु जो मिनरल लो आमे एल्युमिनियम पाई परिबा दैट इज कॉल्ड ओर. द एग्जांपल ऑफ ओर इज बॉक्साइट ओर. बॉक्साइट में इजिली एल्युमिनियम पाइबा इज द एल्युमिनियम. बॉक्साइट अछि Al2O3 2H2O. इट इज ओर जदि एटा मिनरल किंतु एटा ओर को आजिबो. सिमिलरली क्यूपराइट, the ore of copper, cuprite, Cu2O, it is also ore. Copper pyrite, the formula is CuFeS2. So these are some of the examples of ores. Then we discuss what is ore, what is mineral, what is gangue particles, some of the examples of ores. Then we go general principle. Then we have to go to general principle. General principle for extraction of metals, for extraction of metals. That principle को गुड़ा का मैं नहीं कि बेस करें. Number 1, first is crossing of the ore. उन्हें माइन गले माइन उन्हें ore आले ताकि वह भांगी वाला दरकार. तब भांगी पाउडर करियो पड़िबो. Crossing of the ore. Crossing of the ore. आगे ore select करिबा. Second is crossing of the ore. Number 2, concentration of the ore. Concentration of the ore. Number 3, roasting or calcination. सब डिटेल कहि डिस्कस करी. रोस्टिंग और calcination. Roasting or calcination. Number 4 is reduction. Number 5 is refining, purification, right? Purification, same thing. So purification. What a ore go I metal paye huele, we would follow the following principles. Number 1, crossing of the ore. Number 2, concentration of the ore, roasting or calcination, then reduction, then purification. प्रथम क्रॉसिंग ऑफ द ओर वेरी सिंपल. फर्स्ट क्रॉसिंग ऑफ द ओर ओटा को आनले क्रॉस करियो. क्रॉसिंग ऑफ द जॉन कैन बी डन बाय जॉ क्रशर. गोटे क्रशर आनले, क्रशर आनी बड़ पत्थर अच्छी पत्थर तो आम माइन रू आनले, माइन आनी तो भांगी चूना करदे, गुंड करदे बाय जॉ क्रशर. देन मेक इट पाउडर, देन मेक इट पाउडर ताको आने प्रथमे ओट टाको आने आम पाउडर करदे मन कर आयरन आने लुहा लुहा सब अच्छी माइंड से बहुत अच्छी लुहा ताको आने भांगीदे पीस पीस करदे तापर मेक इट पाउडर किमिति आयरन आम एक्सचेंज आयरन लुहा और सब आस मार्केट को किमिति होउचे एगुड़ा सब then crossing of then concentration of the ore will go to the concentration second point concentration of the ore concentration to देखो concentration means अच्छी जब impurity बाहर कर दबा we have to increase the percentage of metal we have to increase the percentage of metal is called concentration to increase or to remove the impurities present in the ore are called concentration are called माने ओटा घनीभूत हो ओटा मेटल टा बेसी भाग रहइबो concentration that is the percentage of metal increased that is the percentage of metal is increased जेतिला मेटल परसेंटेज में अधिक कर दबा this can be done how concentration किंतु करिबा नंबर 1 a concentration रा गोटे पार्ट a that is by hydraulic washing first this concentration part hydraulic washing but हम करि परिबा जदि गोटे ओर अच्छी इनपुट अच्छी आम वाटर फ्लो करवा जिते जिते वाटर जोर फ्लो करवा इनपुट जो लाइटर पार्टिकल थी से आपे आपे फ्लो होकर पलैब बाहर को पलैज इनपुट पलैब कि इट इज कॉल्ड ऑल्सो ग्राविटी सेपरेशन इट इज कॉल्ड ग्राविटी सेपरेशन it is based on the difference of density of metal and gangue particles density of water but different gravity gangue particles. So here it is washed. The ore is washed with a current of water, with a current of पानी जोर तक छाड़ी के जोर प्रेशर में ताको दे दबा जे लाइटर पार्टिकल को बाहर की पळेबो एवं मेटाल परसेंटेज टा बढ़ी जिवो एटा कहा जाए हाइड्रोलिक वाशिंग बी पार्ट ये गोटे पार्ट में इम्प्योरिटी बाहर कर दबा नंबर बी कंसंट्रेशन रो which froth flotation that is applicable for sulfide ore ताले sulfide ore टा कंसंट्रेट करे froth flotation पूरे froth तैयारी हुए फॉर्मेशन हबो froth केमिते देखा पिले froth टा suppose this is your water is there water you add oil pine oil the sulfide parts impurities sulfide ores pure form it form a fourth on the above the surface of this and the heavy particles will remain impurities heavy particles which impurities sink at the bottom bottom. This form a froth. It आम तो बाहर कर impurity चली गला and some way by this is called the concentration by froth flotation process. Then because oil is there, oil सहित sulfide गुड़ाक और गुड़ाक आसी गोटे फ्रथ तैयारी है जे लाइटर सी भाषा रकम है ताकू आम अलग करदे हेवी पार्टिकल गुड़ाक रिमेन सिंक एट द बॉटम सी अलग होगा ये जो आम ने जो ओर प्रोटीन ने फ्रथ फॉर्म है हवा द्वारा आमर परसेंटेज इम्प्योरिटी गुड़ाक वी कैन रिमूव बाय दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड फ्रथ फ्लोटेशन प्रोसेस. Then to magnetic separation. Magnetic separation. ताले कोउरा के पिले मैग्नेटिक सेपरेशन नहीं परिबो जो उड़ा करे पर आयरन इलेक्ट्रिक मैग्नेट ताल गोटे पार्ट गोटे अछि हमर ओर पार्ट और impurities present there. If anyone is attracted to the magnet, attracted by the magnet, we can separate, we can remove this either ore or other impurities. जिमिति लुहा दे चुंबक आम रखिले चुंबकटा लुहा टाणी आनिबो सपोज ओटा आयरन नेच आयरन नेला बेले जदि आमे मैग्नेट स्ट्रांग मैग्नेट नबा ताने से ओटा को नै जिवो इम्प्युरिटी को अलग कर दबो. By this way we can remove the impurities and this separation is called magnetic separation. Magnetic separation. Then anyone must be attracted by the magnet. A, B, C, D concentration for leaching. LACHING. Leaching is chemical method. This chemical method. In this method, the impurities are removed. The impurities are removed by treatment of ore, with acid with acid कर दे परिबा base करि परिबा base or suitable reagent तो लाइक दर एसिड तो हम करि परिबा बेस सहित मिसेबा सुले या द्वारा कोन करिबा आमे इम्प्युरिटी आमे बाहर कर दे परिबा. So this process where we use acid, I will give some examples, base or suitable reagent such that we can separate the ore particles from impurities, and this process is called leaching. For example, here the impurities ore particles dissolve in solvent or acid or base, whereas the impurities gang particles undissolved dissolve habani remain as undissolved. यदि undissolved प्ले हे गले ताले इटा में तो लगा dissolve undissolved ताले dissolved part में नहीं जिबा. As a result of which the percentage of the ore metal part percent metal increases. Let us take examples of leaching. What is leaching? Leaching is a chemical method. We have to add suitable acid, now suitable chemical, that is acid, base or suitable reagent, so that to remove the impurities. For example, alumina. Let us leaching of alumina. Leaching of alumina. Leaching of alumina can be done. For example, alumina is Al2O3 from bauxite. Leaching alumina on bauxite ore. Leaching alumina from bauxite. from bauxite. The bauxite formula is Al2O3 2H2O. आमे केमिति concentration करिबा by means of leaching man. The input is some input is there. First, sodium hydroxide is added. Base, sodium hydroxide base is added to alumina. Added to alumina. When sodium hydroxide is added, Al2O3 plus NOH plus H2O, it form. You will get Na, main compound will get LOH4, a complex one. NaLOH4, tetra sodium tetra hydroxy aluminate 3. It is sodium tetra hydroxy sodium tetrahydroxy aluminate 3. So this first form, that input you input you must suppose, then this treated with NaLOH4, it treated with carbon dioxide. It treated with carbon dioxide. We get Al2O3 plus XH2O, some water there, Al2O3 XH2O. This Al2O3 XH2O on heating, we get Al2O3. In this case, impurities, the only impurities cannot react with sodium hydroxide. Only the ore part, aluminum oxide, alumina react with this. As a result of which, the on-dissolved part remain as gangue particles. ताले ये gangue particle remove ही गला, रोइला ताला मेरा sodium aluminum part, it form a complex sodium tetrahydroxy aluminate 3. Then this treated with carbon dioxide CO3 not CO2. It form Al2O3 XH2O. Al2O3 XH2O, you get Al2O3. And this process is called leaching of bauxite. Leaching of bauxite by sodium hydroxide. Example. Similarly, leaching of silver can be done. Silver. Leaching of silver or gold, silver, silver, leaching of silver. The silver you take the ore, silver Ag2S. When Ag2S treated with sodium cyanide, your reagent you add sodium cyanide. It is the reagent for leaching. Reagent for leaching. So this form your NaHgCN2 complex. So the gangue particles जो रहिला बाकी जो रेस्ट स्टेप रहिला से does not react with, does not goes to solution, does not dissolve in sodium cyanide. तान जो input रहिला gangue particle रहिला ता अलगा गला बर्तन ये बर्तन अलगा गला. By this method we can separate silver by addition of a reagent. The sodium cyanide can be done, which is called leaching of silver sulfide ore. Leaching of silver sulfide ore, from which the concentration increases. The concentration, we can make concentration, and the concentration can be done, which I have discussed. Number one, I told you, first is hydrolysis process, froth flotation, magnetic separation, then leaching. second point, one is first point, second point, third point, roasting or calcination. We discuss what get both some define roasting and calcination, but distinguish between roasting or calcination. The calcination right on your will be calcination जब हम ओर हिट करिबा the ore calcination by hitting the ore limited supply of air or oxygen or absence of this or absence of this are called calcination. जदि आम calcination we get oxide, we will get oxide, we get conversion of ore. This is the conversion of ore to its oxide, to metal oxide. ताले गोटे ओर को नहीं कि आम हिट करिबा either presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen, but here absence of oxygen or limited supply of oxygen, then we get metal oxide. बहुत कम जो गुड़ाक कौ गुड़ाक calcination हम जो रे the ores which contain oxygen, carbonate, here we use calcination because our oxygen दरकार नहीं, because oxygen भीतर अच्छी we use calcination. For example, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate. ओरेला calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate ओर अच्छी आम तो हिट करिबा एटे ऑक्सीजन दरकार नहीं, खाली हिट कले we get calcium oxide, absence of oxygen by limited, calcium oxide plus magnesium oxide. ये जो बर्तन पाइबा, so this is called carbonate ore, is called calcination. Roasting is आम दी उल्टा ठीक जब आम लिमिटेड सप्लाई एयर ऑक्सीजन ये बहुत एक्सेस दबा व्हेन दी ओर is heated with oxygen or air, heated with oxygen or air excess to get oxides are called roasting. सेटा में सप्लाई करनतले एटी सप्लाई करिबा डिफरेंस इट ऑक्सीजन के एयर दे के एक्सेस दबा हम रोस्टिंग करिबा. इट इज एप्लीकेबल फॉर जो जे ऑक्सीजन नथिबो जो ओर उडाक तले को ओर ऑक्सीजन नथिबो देख एग्जांपल सल्फाइड ओर मेल सल्फाइड ओर्स आर converted to metal oxide by means of roasting. Not oxygen now दबाव पड़ो एग्जांपल में राइट आम गोटे एग्जांपल ले परिबा सिंपल एग्जांपल जिंक सल्फाइड सपोज अच्छी प्लस ऑक्सीजन वी गेट जिंक ऑक्साइड प्लस सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड वी गेट जिंक ऑक्साइड. ताले वर्तमान जिंक रो जिंक ऑक्साइड जो पाइले बाय सप्लाइंग ऑफ ऑक्सीजन जदि ऑक्सीजन दबा ताले हबो नले परिबो नहीं खाली हिट कई परिबो नहीं. So this process is called roasting. और जो उतरे ऑक्सीजन अच्छी ताले सेटा कहो calcination. ताले वर्तमान पाई गले वर्तमान को और गानी के में मेटल ऑक्साइड भी पाई गले. Here one thing important thing is what is flask. ये बेले बेले ऐड करा जाए फ्लक्स कौन the substances which are used, the foreign substances which are added to impurities then forming slag ताले impurities अच्छी impurity को remove करिबा plus other substance additional substance उडा additional substance नेले बा foreign substance नेले additional substance they form a slag उडा example ले बुझी पारियो कोडा plus कोडा slag suppose additional some impurities is there SiO2 the impurities silica is impurities if silica is impurities we have to remove this we have to add a foreign substance that is calcium oxide when calcium oxide is mixed so this calcium oxide to remove the impurities it forms CaSiO3 calcium silicate now this calcium silicate is called slag and this part other foreign substance is called frost so that drives it is basic or acidic since calcium oxide is basic in nature CaO that is called basic flux it's called basic flux suppose the impurity is calcium oxide if the impurity is calcium oxide so the calcium oxide impurity है हम तो remove करिया तो बाहर करियो पहले हम other substance add करिया CaO plus SiO2 we get similar SiO3 in this case if this is impurities we are adding reach the foreign substance by additional substance add kale so this is the flask which is called it is acidic nature it is called acidic flask it is called acidic flask then the plus two types what is basic flask and acidic flask impurity saita jodi impurity ala acidic tale flask ro basic if the impurity is basic then the flask will be acidic so this is roasting and calcination then tapare reduction बर्तमान आम एपर्यंत आम मेटाल टाको कनसीडर करके मेटाल ऑक्साइड पाई रिडक्शन इट इज कॉल्ड स्मेल्टिंग यू मे राइट दिस प्रोसेस स्मेल्टिंग द रिडक्शन स्मेल्टिंग एटी हम कौन करिया मेटल ऑक्साइड टाको मेटल पाइबा हियर वी गेट मेटल ऑक्साइड रु बर्तमान मेटल ऑक्साइड हम अछि मेटल ऑक्साइड रु वी गेट मेटल दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड रिडक्शन reduction can be done by different methods number 1 by carbon reduction process number 1 by carbon reduction process हमें कोक बाटे हमें उधर रिडक्शन करि परिबा we can convert to metal oxide to metal suppose you take example Fe2O3 iron oxide. Ore is the iron oxide. If the iron oxide is the ore which is concentrated, it is concentrated ore. It is the concentrated ore. Concentrated ore here is Fe2O3. In the Fe2O3 you add carbon. Carbon la pare here remains plus state. Here iron remains. Kim iron bharibo? Ferric oxide 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to plus 6. X is equal to plus 3. Then iron remains plus state. Now the metal is Fe 0 plus 0. Then iron plus 3 to plus 3 change to 0 state. Hence it is called reduction. जदि प्लस चार्ज कमीगला से रिडक्शन. सो दिस रिडक्शन मेटल ऑक्साइड आम पाइले मेटाल आम उद्देश्य यहाँ किमिति मेटालटे पाइबा लुहाटा केमिति आम सीधा पाइबा ताले मेटल ऑक्साइड को आम रिडक्शन करवा आइदर बाय कार्बन कोक कार्बन केमिति हम से कोक नहीं आम कर कोक नहीं कोक रे कार्बन अच्छी कोक देख कले वी गेट Fe plus CO. Similarly जिंक ऑक्साइड एटा 823K हिट करिया पड़िबो. Similarly आम तो हिट करवा जिंक ऑक्साइड plus carbon we get that is temperature is 1600K we get zinc plus CO. it हम जिंक पाइबा ताले काउंट दे कले आमे रिडक्शन कले by addition of carbon. Hence it is called carbon reduction process. Reduction A part wala. It is A by reduction. This is A reduction part of the part by carbon reduction process. B part reduction by aluminum. Reduction by the carbon gala by aluminum. Reduction by aluminum. It is applicable to chromium oxide Cr2O3 plus L will get 2Cr plus L2O3. It is 2L 2 chromium light. So this reduction at the chromium ta thila amara plus 3 state gala 0 state. So this undergo reduction. And our aim is achieved. A metal oxide ru ame chromium ta pai gale. Tale metal oxide ru chromium paile gote carbon mat korchanti. Kora carbon re sabure carbon mat hei pariboni. Depend on the nature of the electropotential value. Chromium Cr2O3 plus 2L we get chromium. And this process reduction by aluminum is called aluminothermic process. Aluminothermic process. Thermic process. Number C. Reduction by hydrogen. Reduction by hydrogen or water gas. Suppose tungsten oxide अछि ताको हमें प्लस हाइड्रोजन दवा 3H2 रिडक्शन बाय हाइड्रोजन हम उद्देश्य ऑक्साइड अछि ऑक्साइड रे मेटल पाइबा वी गेट W plus 3H2O we get metal. So this done by reduction by addition of hydrogen. Hence this is called reduction by hydrogen. Similarly water gas हम करि परिबा nickel oxide is there NiO plus H2 plus CO water gas. H2 plus CO, this is called water gas. If you take water gas nickel oxide you will get nickel men. So this process is called reduction by hydrogen or aluminum. Then we will go to the last one, reduction by electrolytically. There is electrolytic reduction. Electrolytically reduction. electrolytically reduction. Electrolytic reduction. Suppose sodium chloride, fused sodium chloride use kरिया, fused sodium chloride, fused NaCl. A metal पाइबा, when the fused sodium chloride NaCl it form Na plus plus Cl minus. At cathode Na plus plus E we get sodium, fused sodium chloride. At anode it is gain of electron, at anode we get Cl minus minus 2E, we get chlorine. That means sodium O we get direct metal. This reduction can be done by electrolysis, hence it is called electrolytic reduction. ताले आमे जो कहले बता reduction गोटे कहले carbon reduction, आउ गोटे कहले aluminum reduction, आउ reduction by hydrogen or water gas. Fourth one was electrolytic reduction. Then purification करिबा. बर्तमान आमे metal पाई गले, आम उद्देश्य फुलफिल हो गला, मेटल आसीगला, मेटल टाको आम केमिति प्यूरिफाई करिबा. हाउ कैन प्यूरिफिकेशन ऑफ प्यूरिफिकेशन purification can be done, number one, by electro refining. Electro refining करि परिबा गोटे मेथड. In this case, metal अच्छी, this metal is impure. This metal is impure अच्छी. Metal पाई गले, metal टा impure अच्छी. आमे तो electro refining करिया कौन? M टा भी तो कर देले. M N plus plus Ne minus. पुनी M N plus plus Ne minus, we get M. This is your pure metal. Metal टा purified हो गला by electrically. Since metal is purified by electrically, hence it is called electro refining. Then we'll go to B, zone refining. Zone refining. Zone refining है मेटल टा प्रथम मेटल अच्छी इम्प्योर मेटल आम जो पाइले इम्प्योर मेटल टाको आम तो मेल्ट कर दबा पूरा लिक्विड स्टेट मेल्ट कर दबा मेल्ट्स ताको हीट करके मेल्ट कर दे मेल्टेड लिक्विड है सॉल्यूशन स्टेट ऊपर है मेल्ट अगेन रिक्रिस्टलाइज करवा मेल्ट है पूरी ठंडा करके रिक्रिस्टलाइज करवा कला जो मेटल टा पाइले we get metal. This metal is called zone refining. प्रथम ने impure metal ताको मेल्ट कर देले मेल्ट है लापर अगेन ताको कले हमें रिक्रिस्टलाइज पर जो मेटल पाइले it is pure form and this process is called zone refining. Example zone refining करा जीव हमरो कोउटा करि पारे जर्मेनियम आउ करि परिबा सिलिकॉन गैलियम we can use zone refining of these elements. मेटल पाई गले हम तो यूज करे zone refining आइ तो मेल्ट कर दबा एटा इम्प्योर अछि तो मेल्ट करके तो रिक्रिस्टलाइज कले जे इम्प्योरटा कमी जो it become pure. Then C, vapor phase refining. C, vapor phase refining. How can vapor phase refining करिबा in the vapor phase refining रे it is called Mont process. Mont process एई बाटा हम एक्सट्रैक्ट करि परिबा vapor phase निकेल we can extract निकेल इंपोर्ट थिबो चेक भी दो निकेल अछि निकेल हमर सब इंपोर्ट दे हम तो प्यूरिफिकेशन करना दी निकेल इंपोर्ट को निकेल अछि ताकू हम बर्तन कोन करबा CO मिसे दबा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दे देले Mont process तो vapor phase रे it form in vapor phase it form complex NiCO4 complex NiCO4 टाकू again hit करो you get nickel निकेल जो पार्ट जो मेथड फास्ट इंपोर्टेंट मेटल ले कार्बन मोनोक्साइड देले इट फॉर्म ए कॉम्प्लेक्स निकेल टेट्राकार्बोनली then the heat kale we get nickel and this process is called Mond process and it is called this can be defined by vapor phase is called because all the things are done in vapor condition vapor phase use kochon similarly B a Mond process B Van Arkel Debord's method. We can defining Debord's method. In this case, similarly, zirconium plus 2 iodine vapor phase, vapor, but thermal decomposition, we get ZrI4, zirconium tetraiodide pile. This heating on 1000 K, we get zirconium. ताले ये जो phase इधर टांगा vapor phase उधर Mond process, Van-Arkel Debord process. ये तरह we can extract zirconium. Iodine is volatile compound, is volatile. In vapor, it from vapor phase we get ZrI4. The ZrI4 zirconium tetraiodide heating 1000 K, we get zirconium. Vapor phase refining. Also nowadays chromatography D we can be done by the chromatography madhya kara hauchi chromatography ra we can chromatography. So this all about your metallurgy ra general principle. First I told you crossing of the ore, second is concentration, third is reduction, fourth is refining. Now I will give some examples now, but let us discuss extraction of iron basing on this principle. Individual kariba. Extraction of iron by metallurgy of iron, extraction of iron. Simple way like khali principle ta kahibi. Principle. आमे ओर नबा आयरन एक्सट्रैक्शन करिया पूर्व आमे तार किसी ओर न पड़िबो जो थारो आमे इजीली आमे करि परिबा लेकिन नंबर ऑफ ओर्स आर वन इज ओर्स आर हेमेटाइट HAEMATIT हेमेटाइट इट्स फॉर्मूला इज आयरन थिबो Fe2O3 हेमेटाइट सम ऑफ द ओर्स आर हेमेटाइट magnetite its formula is Fe3O4 iron pyrite this is your FeS2 siderite is FeCO3 name two ores particular question name two ores of iron they all are iron there Fe is there it is sulfide ore it is oxide ore name one sulfide ore of iron you write down the answer will be iron pyrite name the carbonate of iron there is FeCO3 there is siderite oxide ore hematite and magnetite ores are there. Now केमिति करिबा जो बात मेथड हम करले केमिति एक्सट्रैक्ट करिबा फास्ट हाउ कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट आयरन जे कोन सी एक्सट्रैक्शन करबो हम दीचर ओर लिखिबा तापर सुइटेबल ओर द सुइटेबल ओर इज Fe2O3 suitable ore is Fe2O3 that is hematite I mean hematite is the suitable ore it is the suitable ore for the hematite to हम कौन करिबा ore नेले कोई जिमिति करिया सब लिख देजिबा फर्स्ट ore तो कहबे क्रॉस करिबा क्रॉसिंग द ore cross and powder form कर दबा it make it powder form ore टाको ने कि पाउडर कर देले it is नेचुरल में Fe2O3 सिमिलर मैनर में करिया जिमिति करथले बुझैतले Fe2O3 crossed then go to the concentration the concentration can be done by gravity process. The concentration can be done by gravity process. ମୁଁ ଆଗରୁ କହିଛି gravity କେମିତି କରିବ? Gravity process by running water. By running water. Concentration କରିଦେଲ. Then ଆମେ କରିବା calcination. Look at the key word that this is oxide word. Since it is oxide word, it must be calcination. Now roasting, because this is oxide word, as this is oxide word, as it is as oxide word, or oxygen is there, oxygen is present, we have to make calcination, not roasting, we make calcination. Fe2O3 calcination kale, we get then concentration, then go to calcination. In the calcination, we get the input is there, calcination. Here some of the reaction takes place like this. FeCO3 is the input is it form FeO plus CO2. Little amount, some amount present. Some amount present. So the calcination kale heat elapare first FeOCO2. Sulfur, argon, phosphorus form oxides which are volatile, form oxides which are volatile, sulfur removed, sulfur plus oxygen, it forms sulfur dioxide. Same the AS arsenic plus O, it form arsenic pentoxide. Phosphorus O2 P2O5. তাহলে এগুলা অর্থাৎ রিমুভ হয়ে গেল by means of calcination P2O5. So some of the impurities are removed. Then we'll go to the calcination after this smelting. তারপরে আমি যাবা smelting process, reduction, smelting. In the smelting reaction hochi top of furnace re. In the smelting, I am writing smelting. In the smelting, the following reaction takes place. Reduction with carbon, in blast furnace. Reduction of carbon in blast furnace. Your reactions are C plus O2 form carbon dioxide, CO2 plus C to CO, Fe2O3 O term hematite plus CO, it form 2FeO plus carbon dioxide. Then Fe2O3 plus CO again, it form Fe3O4 plus CO2, Fe3O4 plus 4CO, it form last iron pile. We get here iron. Fe plus carbon dioxide. I this fulfill it. We get iron Fe. তাহলে বর্তমান তুমি আমি নেলে যেମିତି আমি করলে প্রথমে ও নেলে ওটা ক্রস কলে তারপরে কনসেন্ট কলে কনসেন্ট কো প্রসেস কলে আমি কইলি ডিফরেন্ট প্রসেস ইট ইজ অক্সাইড ওর নট সলফাইড ওর থিলে ফোর্থ প্রোডাকশন আমি গ্রাভিটি প্রসেস করি পারিবা ম্যাগনেটিক সেপারেশন भी করি পারিবা দেন ক্যালসিনেশন কলিয়া পরে বর্তমান যে ইম্পুরিটিজ গুড়াক ফসফরস ইম্পুরিটি থিলা ফসফরস পেন্টক্সাইড হয়ে গলা সলফরটা সলফর ডাইঅক্সাইড হয়ে গলা আর্সেনিক চেঞ্জ টু আর্সেনিক পেন্টক্সাইড FeCO3 FeOCO2. Then in the reduction with carbon in blast furnace the following reaction takes place. Last ultimately we get iron. Here limestones are added. Which formed a flask, that is calcium oxide, calcium carbonate plus SiO2 calcium oxide the calcium oxide lime the lime added calcium oxide plus silicon SiO2 we get CaSiO3 calcium silicate calcium carbonate calcium oxide ही करे हम तो lime plus SiO2 we get calcium silicate then it is refined simple way same method we can extract कर देला में iron टब the iron can be extracted by the flow chart like this by the flow chart of this similarly I would example iron gala copper extraction of copper how copper can be extracted from its ore ताले जितने हमें नब्बा प्रथम हमें ओर डाल लिखिबा we should write some of the name of the ores one is copper pyrite copper extraction of copper we have two ores some ores are there ores are one is copper pyrite CuFeS2 okay what is copper pyrite copper glass copper glass Cu2S malachite that is COH whole 2 and CuCO3 cuprite is formula is Cu2O these are the sum of the ores of copper jimita ame kale first the suitable ore the copper glass it is the copper pyrite is the suitable ore ame nele among these economically ame सहज पाइबा कम पैसा आम आयरन तैयारी कर कपर तैयारी कर गोटे कपर पाइराइट फास्ट जिमिली आम कले फास्ट क्रसिंग करवा क्रस्ड ओर इज क्रस्ड ओटा आम क्रस करदे ओटा क्रस करदेला अगेन द कंसंट्रेशन करवा कौ मेथड बिकॉज it is oxide or sulfide तुम आखि में देखिबो एटा सल्फाइड ओर since sulfide ore it is done by flotation process concentration of the ore can be done by flotation process then after concentration roasting or calcination it is roasting it can be done roasting because there is no oxygen only your sulfide ore as it is sulfide ore जेहेतु एटा सल्फाइड ओर ताले आमे ता रोस्टिंग करले we get sulfur plus oxygen sulfur dioxide हिजबो impurities पड़िबो किछि arsenic plus oxygen we get H2O5 phosphorus plus oxygen roasting बेले एतिक जो impurity पड़ेला the impurities are removed as oxide then copper oxide it kon hoche again most important reaction here CuFeS2 plus oxygen we get Cu2S plus 2FeS plus sulfur dioxide तापर जो हमें smelting रे कौन पाइबा smelting रे reaction is 2FeS plus 3O2 we get 2FeO plus 2 sulfur dioxide FeO plus SiO2 we get FiSiO3 so this is flushed this was slag last in the Benjamin reaction this Cu2S again Cu2O plus FeS, we get Cu2S plus FeO. The mixture of Cu2 and Cus is called MET. Is called MET. Then we do benzomerization. Benzomerization ପରେ ଆମେ ପାଇବା Cu2S plus 3O2 will get Cu2O plus sulfur dioxide, FeS plus 3O2 we get 2FeO. Again Cu2O plus Cu2S we get copper plus sulfur. Our uddesha fulfill haba copper paigale. We get copper by this method. Copper la pare ame the purification. Purification can be done, last stage purification by electrolytically. We can purify by electrolytically. Same thing, iron jimiti copper semiti. Amara different process hame likhiya padiyo. Prathame crushing of the ore, then concentration of the ore, then roasting or calcination which is applicable, then smelting, then refining. Basing on this, we can prepare copper. Last iron and copper can be extracted by this one. The time all about your general principle of metallurgy. In the general principle of metallurgy, based on different terms you remember, that is what is ore, what is mineral, what is slag, gangue particles, roasting, calcination, different terms are there. So this is all about your general principle for extraction of metals. Oh, thank you all for patient hearing. Okay.